Today we're making a paper goldfish using origami folding techniques. I used a piece of regular white computer paper to make this. If all you have at home is some lined paper, that's fine, that'll work too. I also used a pair of scissors to cut some of these details, and I used a pencil to draw some details too. Usually origami paper needs to be square. So if you get an origami kit, it'll come with some square paper that is colorful on one side, usually white or a different color on the other side, so you can tell what side you're working on. Sometimes your origami paper will also have a pattern on it. I'm going to use regular computer paper today. I'm also going to have the instruction book here so that you can see what step I'm on. And this will also help you learn how to read the picture instructions. So if you feel like doing this on your own later, if you want to try your own origami, you can know how to read the instructions. So the first thing I need to do is turn this rectangle into a square. So I'm going to fold from the corner, and I'm going to line this short edge up with this long edge. So I'm taking the edge and lining it up along the bottom, and I need this corner here where my thumb is, I need that to be folded in half. Using my fingernail to crease the fold I just made. And now I'm going to take my pencil and carefully trace along this line so that I know what to cut off. So I'm going to go really slow and careful because I don't want to draw on the wrong part of the paper. So now with the trace, I have a square. So I'm going to cut along the line I just drew. And I'm lining my paper up as it looks in the instructions. So it has the dotted line, which is the crease, going the horizontal way across. And now it's telling me that I need to fold that down. So that arrow means to fold it in half. Now it looks like step 2. And now it says to make 2 folds on these dashed lines. So I'm taking this corner right here, and I'm going to have it touch this corner. And I need this edge to line up with this edge. So this is going to be folded in half. So the corners are touching and the edges are lining up. And then I'm going to crease this that way. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So these corners need to touch. And also, this edge is going to get folded in half. So that means that the edge is divided in half by the fold on both sides. So now this looks like step 2. These dotted lines are the folds. And it needs me to keep them folded up. Okay. So now it looks like step 3. Valley fold the 2 flaps forward. So The dotted line always means that that's where a fold is happening. So I'm going to take this corner that I just folded down. Okay, I'm not going to fold it back. I'm not opening it back up like I did before. I'm going to have this corner touch the top corner. So this moves up to here. When it's touching, I'm going to crease. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So this corner goes all the way up to the top. And then crease. Okay. So now it looks like step 4. I'm going to fold from the center. That's where the dotted line is touching. So the center crease or the center corner, I'm going to fold that out like that. And now, do you see how that kind of looks like a paper airplane kind of a shape? It kind of looks like an arrow. So I folded it from this corner out. I'm going to do the same thing here. So from the corner, my crease needs to go out. I'm trying to copy this same shape, same angle. So that step might be one of the more challenging steps. These are going to become the fins on the fish. So if you have this going out a little too far, that's okay. It's just going to make a bigger fin. So don't be too stressed out about this step. If it's too small or too big, it's still going to end up looking like the fin of the fish. So now step 5, fold from the bottom. So the arrow is going from this flap up. And remember, this has 2 pieces of paper here, not just one. So they only want you to take the one that's on top. So pretend this is like a mitten. You can put your hand inside of it. You're only going to take the top flap, and it's folding up, but it's not folding up all the way. The crease is like a little bit halfway between the middle and the point. So when I fold this up, the crease should be here. The crease isn't going to be on this line. It's going to be a little bit lower. And now step 6, I'm folding it up one more time. So now I am going to fold along this line. And I'm taking this flap that I just made and folding it up over itself. So now this flap is overlapping the corner. And that part is going to be the little, do you see the little triangle corner here? So on this fish I made, it's smaller than on this one. This one's going to be a little bit bigger. Kind of looks like the nose, but fish don't have noses. So what I just did, I'm going to do those 2 steps over again. And now you can see where the creases are on the paper. The first crease was lower than the center. So this is the line that divides the paper in half. The first crease is lower than the center. So then the point of the paper is not going to touch here. It's going to be low. Then you put your hand inside like a mitten again, but you fold this edge up. and then try to line up the crease with the middle. So I'm on step 7 at this point, and it wants me to use scissors. So what I'm going to do is cut where it shows. I'm going to draw on my paper with my pencil. It wants me to cut a little bit this way, a little bit this way, and then that same length from the corner up. These lines should not touch each other. There should be a lot of space in the middle. You're not cutting anything off. I didn't cut anything off. I just have some cuts in the paper, but nothing has been cut off. The next step is to fold this backwards. So where I cut, I'm folding that little piece that I didn't cut anything off. Folded that back. So now my paper kind of looks like a triangle with little wings on it. Okay. And now there's a spot where you can open it. It kind of looks like a little pocket. So I'm going to open it up, and this corner and this corner are going to touch. So I had my triangle, inside is a pocket, and where the two corners of the triangle are, I'm opening it up. So I'm making that pocket really big and then closing it up. And now can you see where it's going to look like this fish? All right, so my next step is to fold that. So I just creased where this back part was. So this is now the back of the fish. And this will open up to be a tail. So there's a little flap here. This is where we cut, remember? So there's 2 cuts, and you'll pull it. Do you see how it looks like a tail? Crease it. And then the same thing on the other side. So pull this open, crease it, and there's your fish. You can add some details to it using a pencil. I'm going to add some scales, so I'll make a couple of bumps on here. And add an eye. Might add the eye right here. This might be where the eye is supposed to go. And you can add some details on the fin, on the tail. And if you're really proud of your fish, you can add a little hook to it. I'm just going to go through the paper, and I can hang it up in your home.